What's going on? It's the Big Rig Bull, Texas truck accident lawyer Reshard Alexander here on Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. I'm back over here at the office today. I have a little project that I'm going to do. I'm actually going to take this gumball machine that I have and try to see if I can paint it a different color than what it came in the box. Here it is right here. So I bought this for my kids when they come over to the office and stuff, and when other people bring their kids to the office, like I said, I just think it's a good idea to have something like that around for kids to kind of keep them busy, so that they're not really all running around and stuff like that. But let's go ahead and see what it looks like. I'll show you what it looks like now, then I'll show you what it's going to look like after I finish it. Yeah, so I don't know if you can see this or not, but this is what it looks like beforehand, with the little top on it and everything. Yeah, so if you can see it, this is like the little gumball machine. It goes on a stand and everything. I'm not going to worry about painting like the interior side of it, all this inside stuff. I'm not worried about that so much as the exterior. You do stuff like this, it's really all about the tape job. It's all about the tape job more than anything. Alright, so this is what it looks like beforehand. And this is what it's going to look like afterwards, I suppose. I done put some white paint on that desk, but I'm not really worried about it. I mean, I knew it was going to be like that from the jump, so try to wipe it off with some alcohol later. If it doesn't come off, oh well. But that is the gumball machine painted. Alright, so it looks like I've run into a slight problem. I got the 4 legs here of the bubblegum machine, if you can see it, and then this is like the stand. The stand is much shorter than I thought it would be, but the biggest problem is that when you look at the welding, they didn't do a good job with the welding. If I put it down on the ground, you can see it. So there's one hole right there, there's one hole right there, and then there was a hole that was supposed to be drilled right there for one of the legs, and it's not open. And then there's the other one, so I'm probably gonna have to send this back. Yeah, I was gonna put those in there, so I guess I just have to wait. And man, I was looking forward to building this thing completely out today, but I guess I'll just have to wait. Yeah, so I have these from my previous office. They're going on this wall over here. And I'm gonna get a Texas map, so that way, when I need to go to different courthouses and different counties and stuff, I know exactly, where it's at. But I'm kind of really disappointed with this stand, because I was gonna put this thing together no problem, like 5 minutes, boom, done. But I'll have to rearrange that thought and come up with another solution. Right now I'm talking to the person on Amazon to see if they can send me a replacement machine, because I mean, at this point it didn't come with a glass globe or the the holes weren't properly drilled into the stand, so hopefully they can just send me another one. Yeah, so I just emailed Amazon, and a new machine is coming out to me, and that will conclude that. I don't really know if I'm going to repaint the other one again, simply because the more I think about it, the more I'm kind of worried about toxic paint and all that type of stuff. So I'll probably just keep it whatever color it is, and just go from there. But it just really sucks because I wanted to create that thing today and make a vlog episode out of it, and I guess I still did, but I didn't have a good finished product at the end. I'm gonna send this one back. The couch is on its way, and I gotta go get some cardboard boxes tomorrow from the grocery store to move all that stuff upstairs. But that's pretty much it. I mean, I think I'm pretty much done as far as grabbing stuff for this office. I may actually need to get a desk back here. I mean, I have this little standing desk that I've been using, but I may have to actually put a desk back here. So if I do, it's going to be something really small. Now I guess I just have to get the internet services set up, and I got to wipe this stuff down in here, and I got to get all those books this week. I got to get all these books, and I got to follow up with these other cases. So it's just gonna be a rat race back and forth for the next week or so, getting all that stuff down and getting this other furniture in here. And my walls are so bare right now. It just bothers me. So I'm gonna get some stuff up on the walls. I already have one painting for this front room, and I got to get a dry erase board for inside my office. Like a really big one. When the furniture comes in, I got to see how it all fits. That's the main thing. So once I see how the furniture fits, then I'll kind of have a better idea of how much space I truly have left, because I don't want to overburden this office with a bunch of stuff. Yeah, I think that's it for tonight. I'm done. I'm gonna go home and edit this film and edit this video, and that'll be pretty much it. So take it easy. See you tomorrow, and there'll be another review. All right, welcome back. Here's another review by the Big Rig Bull Texas truck accident lawyer Reshard Alexander. Today we're going to talk about special driving situations, and the special driving situation that we're going to talk about today is railroad crossings. So these are some of the things that we would examine if we were dealing with a commercial motor vehicle wreck and a locomotive. So the controlling statute for railroad crossings is 49 CFR 392.10 and 392.11. So just reference that for your notes if you actually are taking notes. But statistically wise, 2/3 of railroad crossings in America are passive. Okay, what do we mean by passive? Well, what we mean is that they are not marked with signal lights and the arms that come down to let you know to not cross them. So if a truck driver is driving a truck over a passive railroad crossing, it can be a very dangerous situation, because a lot of times they have to pay attention to what's on the road in front of them. They have to pay attention to the load in back of them. It's very noisy, but the train may be coming, and they may not be able to hear the train. They may not see the train, depending on the time of day it is. So it can be a very dangerous and hazardous situation for all parties involved. And what we want to do is we want to know the laws around these particular things to protect not only locomotive passengers and locomotive engineer and their load, but also the truck drivers and any other cars that are out on the road at the same time. Okay, so statistically wise, in 2010 there were approximately 2,000 collisions on railroad crossings in America. Out of that 2,000 collisions, 257 were fatalities and 847 led to injuries. Now that just goes to show you how dangerous it is to cross a railroad with a truck. Because the thing about it is this, is that even though that truck may have 40,000 pounds of cargo on it, it's nothing compared to the weight that a truck usually is holding, and the fact that it has so much of a load behind it, it needs a much longer stopping distance than a truck or even a passenger vehicle for that matter, of course. So, reasons why truck and railroad collisions occur. Okay, so usually it's one of these three things. Number one, there's a mechanical issue with the truck or the train. Number two, there are signaling devices that are non-functional or inadequate on the train, on the railroad tracks. And number three is a human error between either the train engineer who's driving the locomotive or the truck driver who is driving the commercial motor vehicle. All right? Now, when a truck driver or someone who's driving and operating a commercial motor vehicle, when do they have to stop around the railroad tracks? Okay, well, a commercial motor vehicle must stop within 50 feet and no closer than 15 feet from the nearest rail. They must sound their horn and they must look both ways before they cross those railroad tracks. All right? Now, a truck driver should never shift gears when they're crossing the tracks because it can cause stalling on the roads. So you want to shift it into the highest gear that will allow you to make it safely across the railroad tracks instead of trying to shift gears midway between the rails. And it's even more dangerous if they're double rails. So you get your gear in and you cross those tracks. Passenger buses, tankers used for hazardous material, and vehicles placarded for hazardous material must always come to a stop before crossing railroad tracks. Okay? Now, I want to talk about a few of the offenses of dealing with railroad crossings and commercial motor vehicles. So, the railroad crossings offenses are covered in Statute 383.51. That's the offenses. Now, this is not a total list, and if you need the total list, this is where you need to reference in order to get that. But these are some of the things that can cause you to have your CDL suspended as a truck driver, or if you're a motor carrier, this can have your truck driver's CDL suspended because they're violating one of these railroad crossing offenses. Number one is failure to make a required stop before railroad tracks. Number two is failure to slow down and check for a train. Number three is failure to cross the track for lack of sufficient space to clear the crossing. Number four is failure to obey a traffic control signal or directions of an official at a crossing. Number five is failure to cross the tracks because of insufficient ground clearance. And that can happen a lot of times if you have like a livestock trailer or something like that. Okay, now a conviction of any of these will lead to the loss of your CDL for approximately 60 days. All right? Your second offense within a 3-year period is going to cause you to lose your CDL for 120 days. And any subsequent offenses after that will cause you to lose your CDL for a year. So it's very important to take this type of matter very seriously because not only is it dangerous, but it can be a danger to your livelihood. What are some of the duties that the railroad, the locomotive people on that side of things have to worry about? Quick plug, I've written 2 books on not necessarily dealing with these particular issues, but I've written one book that deals with car accident, truck accident, motorcycle accident law. You can pick that book up at rjalexanderlaw.com for free. It's a free download. As well as my railroad FELA injury book. So if you are injured on the railroad tracks or working for the railroad industry, that book can help you as well. You can pick that book up on Amazon, and it's you just type in Reshard Alexander, and it'll come up FELA, FELA. You can find it pretty easily. So let's get to this. What are the railroad duties? Okay, locomotive engineers are required to sound the locomotive horn in a pattern of 2 blasts. The first blast is going to be a short one, The second blast is going to be a long blast. And that long blast has to be no less than 15 seconds, but no more than 20 seconds. And they must continue, or he or she must continue to do that until they cross, till they get to that crossing. All right. So they also have to do it in advance of any public highway rail, and like I said, continue that horn pattern until the train occupies the crossing. Now, this is a federal statute, so this preempts any state law in any state when it comes to sounding that horn. That's a locomotive horn regulation. All right. The only other thing I wanted to cover really quickly is that federal law requires that all locomotives produce a minimum sound level of 66 decibels at 100 feet forward of the locomotive in the direction of travel. So, I mean, if you encounter a situation where you are in a collision with a railroad, with a locomotive, I mean, that might be one of the things that the lawyer would examine, is whether their horn actually even really worked. But that wraps up today's review. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you later. Take it easy.
Crois-moi, ma vie sauvage.